Hello everybody, and welcome to Sports Source, here on our source of sports, and today we're going to be talking about, not sports, but sports video games, and more specifically, NBA 2K19. And just the whole NBA 2K franchise, because I've been playing the 2K games for a long time. I play NBA 2K19 a lot, and that's one of the main reasons why I don't upload a lot, that in school. But, you know, NBA 2K19 is not a perfect game by any means, and I really want them to make a lot of changes for NBA 2K20, so I decided, hey, why not make a wish list? So I have lots of things here. I mostly play now. I play a lot of Park, play a lot of Myleague, not as much MYteam, so no MYteam will be in this video. If you want to see a wish list, a part 2, let me know. But probably none of these things are going to be fixed because the new console will be coming out in like a year, or 2 years, sorry. So 2K20 will probably be the last console or the last game for the PS4 and Xbox One, and then they're gonna move over to the new consoles. So I'm not expecting them to make a lot of changes, but I just hope that, you know, they see these changes, and, you know, I'm just bringing awareness to the changes that need to be in the next game, because there is a lot of changes that need to be in the next year's game. So let's start out with number 1. So the first thing that we're gonna be talking about is archetypes. Now, I feel like in NBA 2K20, there needs to be more diversity with the archetypes. In this year's game, you're put in a mold, and you have to do one thing, and you can't do anything else. You know, if you're a pure sharp, you can't play defense. If you're a pure slasher, you can't shoot at mid-range. You know, there's not enough diversity with archetypes, because, you know, everyone feels the same. Everyone feels you can't do enough things on the basketball court. If you're one build, you should be able to do multiple things, or at least have that option. You know, there's players in the NBA that do one thing very elite and are not very well rounded, and there's players who are very well rounded but don't excel at anything. So I think there should be more of that element in this game, because everyone feels the same. If you're a play sharp, you can shoot and dribble. If you're and it's easier to guard as well, because you can't do anything else to surprise the other team. So what I suggest is, for the cap breaker, you can kind of build your own path and build your own player. Like, build your player how you want to build it, not just, oh, you're a pure sharp. No, if you want to have better ball handling, you could be able to take attributes or skill points and put them to ball handling, so that, because players evolve in the NBA. I can't really think of an example right now, but there's players who are, like, I'll just say DeMar DeRozan. Very good shot creator, very good player on the Raptors, not in the playoffs though, but he went to the Spurs, and, you know, he improved on his playmaking. You know, he evolved in a new situation. So why in NBA 2K20 and NBA 2K19, why can't you have the option of just being a different character? I don't know if this makes a lot of sense, but just have more diversity with the player archetypes, be able to do more stuff on the basketball court, and build your player actually how you want to build it. Be more in control of your attributes. Obviously, you can't be a pure sharp with 99 ball control, but make it a little bit more. I mean, obviously, you're gonna have to find a way to balance things out, but just make it a little bit more fun as well. And another thing is more body types. I feel like that's another thing on making the archetypes more diverse, because, you know, you change the weight, and it doesn't really change everything. It changes like a couple attributes to like strength and box out. There's different body types in the NBA. And also, let's look at Giannis. He's a 6'11", very, very one of the most athletic players in the NBA, but you can't really, you know, he's very athletic, and you can't really make a big, strong, fast guy in NBA 2K20. So just have that diversity, make body types more of a thing. You know, you can make like a slim KD build, you can make a big Giannis build, or a muscular Giannis build, or you can make like a chubbier build. I don't know, just make it more diverse in the archetypes and body types. Next up is for the park, and it is different parks. I am so sick of in the park. I'm so sick of going to a park and playing a game against elite 3s and pro 3s when I'm good, but I'm not like a sweaty elite. I don't want to play elites, and it's not fun for anyone. Really, no one wins in this, and they put your record and how good you are right below you, so it's impossible for, you know, lower tier players to play in the game. Nothing's casual. If you're a casual player like me, you have to play against these people who are unemployed, probably, and are Elite 3s grinding this game in almost May. like it's pathetic. So you should have matchmaking so that the players who are bad play against other players who are bad, so that, you know, they have more fun. And the players who are good play against good players, because how is it fun for a very bad player to play very good sweats and lose like 22-4? And how is it fun to beat teams 22-4? It just doesn't make any sense. There needs to be something next year. Different parks, like a casual park, a competitive park. Your rank, like pro, elite, amateur, that should all be in a... You should be in an amateur park or an elite park or a pro park, or at least have matchmaking, so that I spend so much time finding a game because of this problem too, because people don't want to play with me, you know, and there's not enough open games and everyone doesn't want to play with each other. No one wants to be in a game. So either make matchmaking or make different parks so we can actually play a game instead of just watching it. Now this one kind of ties into Mycareer more, but make Mycareer more dynamic. Mycareer right now is so stale, and it used to be more fun. I've even touched Mycareer this year. No one plays Mycareer other than the badges. So really, just like make Mycareer more dynamic in terms of shaping your career. Not every player, or first you have to make the game actually playable first of all, but if you want to make a good storyline, make Mycareer more dynamic in terms of shaping your career, because not everyone comes out of college with the same career path. Not everyone is going to turn into an elite superstar out of high school and college. That's just not how it works. Sometimes there's the role players, there's the really good starters, the X factors. There is the superstars, but there's also the bench warmers. So you should kind of shape your career and have the cutscenes actually mean something. So if you make a bad, like they should make it more like, you know, those games where it's like you have a choice and then you build your own path, and those books, and you like choose your own ending. That's how it should be. There should be multiple endings, and you should be able to choose how your career goes. And that's like a game, and then you want to do it again, and you want to play Mycareer again, and then become a superstar. You know, you want to earn your coach's trust. You know, stuff like that. Just make it more fun to play, and make the Mycareer cutscenes matter, and make the whole mode dynamic in general. Because right now is very dead and very stale. These next two kind of tie into points I've already made, but I'm gonna make them anyway. And first of all, let players choose what they want to upgrade after their cap breaker. I'll give you the story. So I'll make up this story. So there's this, well, this is based on a true story, but there's this guy, all right? He's playing 2K. He has a primary playmaker, secondary shot creator, point guard. You know, he plays Park a lot. You know, he's a 92. He just reached his cap breaker. He is so excited. He's been grinding Mycareer, grinding Park to get this cap breaker, to get to a new overall, or to get an extra 3-point rating, or an extra ball handling rating, or an extra layup rating, whatever. And then he breaks the cap, and what goes up is strength and rebounding. And this player is 6'1". Who wants that? And he doesn't even go up to a 93. That is so useless and dumb. You should be able to choose what you want for your cap breaker. This also ties into shaping your own player and your own path. You should have more control in that, because no one's going to upgrade strength. Obviously, if you have like 1,000 upgrade points, you can't put them all to get 99-3, 99 ball handling, 99 dunks. But there should be some kind of balance so that you don't have, you know, you don't upgrade your strength when you don't want to. You want to put that into other stuff. Like this player only has like a 78 open shot 3. They want to make it a 79 or an 80. But no, they have to get extra strength and extra rebounding, because that's really going to help them. And the next thing kind of ties into the matchmaking. It's remove park records. There's no reason park records should be in the game. Again, no one wants to play with you if the park records are showing right there. And it leads to some bullying, but not that I really care that much about 2K bullying. But yeah, it's kind of toxic. But like, oh, your record's trash. Like, who cares? I'm just trying to play the game. If the matchmaking wasn't so dumb, my record wouldn't be like that. If I didn't play against Elite 3s all day, my record wouldn't be like that. So they really need to fix this next year, as I have already emphasized. Okay, so these next two are kind of smaller tweaks, and these are the last things I'm going to bring up in Park and Mycareer. This first one, okay, it's shot clock. This is a very big personal issue for me. I don't know if this is an issue that happens to anyone else, but the shot clock in NBA 2K19 annoys the hell out of me. So let's give the situation, all right? This guy's a sharpshooter, pure sharp. And the shot clock is at 3 seconds, and it does that thing where it goes beep, beep, beep. So it's clicking down, and he knows that he has to score. And there's two people on him, smothering him, so he can't take the shot. And then you're not looking at the shot clock. You're focusing on staying in front of him and listening for the sound, right? And then the shot clock when it's at 2 seconds, it makes it sound like it's at 0.1 seconds. It sounds so urgent, and then the player can go to the side and separate himself in that 1 second, pull up a shot, and make it. That happens to me a lot, where the shot clock is winding down, and I think it's lower than it actually is because of the sounds, and then they pull off one move, get open, take a shot, make it. Like, that is so annoying. They need to remove that. The next thing is with Mycareer, they need to remove, or they need to add, so that you can work on multiple badges per drill, because grinding for badges sucks. You have to do the practice facility in Mycareer. No one wants to do that. So why can't you multitask and grind multiple badges per drill? There's so many drills where I do something different, like I'm in catch and shoot, and I can work on corner specialist and catch and shoot at the same time. Like, that should be an option so that it doesn't take so long to grind for badges. I just think that would be a way better option. While we are on the topic of badges, I need to bring up a point. I don't really know how people are gonna feel about this, but remove Hall of Fame badges. Why is there Hall of Fame? Bronze, silver, gold I think is good enough. Make gold badges a little bit better, and you don't need Hall of Fame badges, because it's not really fair that in the NBA, who has Hall of Fame Limitless? There's only been like one player in all of NBA history that should have Hall of Fame Limitless range, and that's Steph Curry. He's the only one. Limitless range. Not every sharpshooter should be a threat from the half-court line. That's just not how it should work. Hall of Fame badge should be way more rare to get, and it should take way more grinding, because it's too easy to get a Hall of Fame badge. And then Hall of Fame should be that you're the best ever at something. Curry should have Hall of Fame Limitless because he's the best ever at it. You know, or you have to do it at a very, very elite level, like top 5 all time. I don't think that every single sharpshooter that barely grinds for that badge, for that catch and shoot badge, or that Limitless badge, I don't think that they should all be pulling it from half court. Like, that's just not fun. Threes are a big part of Park because it only goes up to 21. And you need 3-point shooting to win in the park, bottom line. So make it so that it's more fair and that you can win other ways, instead of people pulling up for half court and making it less fun for the people who actually run plays and they set good picks and they get good rebounds. You know, they actually play instead of hitting a third of your 3-pointers. You know, a team that makes a third of their 3-pointers will win compared to a team that makes like 75% of their 2-pointers. That's just dumb. Moving on to Myleague, the first thing is make coaches more important. In the Myleague, you know, you just go into the coaching, you know, you get the A+ coach, you get the A+ offense, you get the A+ defensive coach, you know, and then you're done. And then I don't even know how much it really does. I haven't really tried using like an F coach with the same team and seeing how it goes. If you want to see experiment on that, I guess leave a like or comment it. I don't really know, but make coaches more potent. Have coaches that help your system, because in real life, coaches mean a lot, and you need a coach that matches your team's system. There's only like a couple coaches in the game that actually have systems. All the auto-generated ones are just balanced, but there's only a couple who are like defense or pace and space, you know, or 7 seconds or perimeter centric. There's only a couple coaches like that. So have the coaches. Let's say you have a perimeter centric coach and you have a good 3-point shooting team, then you could add a 2+ boost to 3-point for all of your team, or they can help with badges, or just make the coaches more important part of not just Myleague, but just the whole NBA 2K19, or sorry, the NBA 2K20 franchise next year in general. The next thing is historic rosters. Now 2K, I will give them credit. They have done a very good job with the historic draft classes. Obviously, they couldn't get rights to a few players like Barkley, Ray Allen, or not Ray Allen, Reggie Miller. Who else? Chris Bosh. You know, they can't get their rights, and that's why they're not in the game. But what's the point of using the historic draft classes if there's no historic rosters to pair them up with? Because lots of lots of actual people that make the draft classes are very, very inaccurate. There's some that have like, and these guys, it's a lot of hard work to make a roster. I understand that. But lots of these rosters are incorrect, and you have to manually change a bunch of things. Like, one of them has like Tim Duncan being 25 in the 2016 season. Like, that shouldn't, and Kobe being 23 in the 2017 season, or 2015 season. Like, that shouldn't happen. They should have historic rosters to pair up with the draft classes, because I know that'd be almost impossible for 2K to do. and it would also ruin the nostalgia of their other games because you'd just be putting every roster into one. But at least make a couple, like 2015, 16, 2010, 2011, you know, just make some. Doesn't have to be a lot, just make some historic rosters for us to play with. It'd be a lot more fun as well in Myleague and play now. You know, you can play with the 2010 Bulls versus the 2010 Heat. That would be really fun to do. But you just can't do that right now without it, or you can't do it right now because it's not very accurate when the 2K community does it themselves. The next thing is player positioning in Myleague. So lots of players in the NBA are very, very versatile, but in NBA 2K19, the versatility is put at a halt. For example, you have Justice Winslow, I'll just say. So he's been playing point guard for lots of the year as the Heat, and he was doing pretty good at the point guard position, but he goes down to a 74 as a point guard. Like, the player positioning, it's not based on the position, it's not based on the player individually, it's based on their position. So if you're a center, you go up by one as a power forward, no matter what center you are. Even like Whiteside, I don't think Whiteside would be a better power forward than center, but 2K, because he's a center, he's a better power forward. And for power forwards, they go up like 1 or 2 as small forward. Like, I don't think that a guy like Derek Favors would be a better small forward, and I don't think that guy like Anthony Davis would be a better small forward. You know, it's just not realistic at all, so it doesn't make any sense. They should have actual versatility. Like, they should have players like Winslow be able to play the point guard without them having a major drop-off, because we've seen players be versatile. Obviously, it'd be a little bit OP, but, you know, with having Giannis at point guard and still the same overall, or Giannis at center and be the same overall, but he can play those positions in stride, so it'd be more fun building your team if you weren't so limited on positions and you could move players around, because there would be more versatility, because players in the NBA are very versatile. They play different positions all the time, so I just think that they should add that in next year's game and make it more fun for the player. This is probably one of the biggest parts of Myleague. You need to fix the sim engine. If it's a simulated game mode, your sim engine shouldn't be complete garbage. Because if you go to historic rebuilds, like let's say the 2010 Warriors, they go to the finals every time, even though they weren't that good in 2010. Same thing with, like, if you're doing a fantasy draft. The teams that go farther are teams that are quote-unquote 2K's teams. You know, I'll give you an example. A couple years ago, the Bulls were 2K's team, so no matter what, the Bulls always made it to the finals, no matter how bad their team was, and it was super overpowered. And then in 2K18, the Celtics, no matter who you put on the Celtics, they got kicked out of the first round every year, and it's still like that. 2K has bias against these teams. If you put a good team that fits well together, they should be able to win a lot of games. The sim engine is just so broken, and also players don't score as much. If you have a player that, let's say you have like 3 superstars. We've seen 3 superstars that fit together work, but in 2K, one of them has to average below, they all can't average above 20. One of them has to be like 15 points. So if you have a team of, let's say, D'Angelo, Durant, and Clay will score like 16 points when he should be closer to 20, because I think that team could all play together better than they're shown. So that's one thing. The other thing is that building your team, I've kind of found the 2K formula of building your team, and rebuilds are so repetitive because there's a certain formula. Basically, you could have 2 centers in the 2K and not be punched at all. You could have Steven Adams and Clint Capella, one of them at the power forward, and your team will win the championship, because the 2K sim engine doesn't value shooting at all. You don't need any floor spacers. Just get size and playmaking and scoring, and you're fine. You know, there's no other element. Shooting doesn't matter at all, and lots of players that are good three-point shooters struggle from the three-point line in the sim anyway. So the whole sim engine is just broken. Another thing is player progression. There's 2 things with player progression. One is intangibles, and not intangibles, sorry, tendencies. Let's say Brandon Ingram. So Brandon Ingram, he never does good in rebuilds. If you see Brandon Ingram, there's certain players that do really good in rebuilds and some that don't. Brandon Ingram does terrible in rebuilds for a couple reasons. First of all, his potential isn't that high. And second, his shot tendency. His shot tendency is so low. I'm pretty sure it's at 55. So if you put Brandon Ingram on a team by himself with that 55 shot tendency, he'll only put up like 16 points per game, which is so unrealistic, because if you put Brandon Ingram on his own team and let him run his own team, he would be much better. That's like for any player. If you put a decent starter, or if you put a certain player on a team by himself, he's going to perform. Look at what Bogdanovic has been doing for the Pacers. So I think that if a player is traded, especially a young player, to a team with nobody else, their shot tendency should go up and they should take control of that team. Players should evolve more, and that goes into my player progression. I've played like a little bit of NBA Live 19, and I don't like that game at all. But one thing they do very good is the player progression. You could choose how you develop your player. If you want to develop DeAndre Ayton into more of a floor spacer, he gets skill points, and then you apply them to that player. Instead of just in 2K, you have an overall, and you have a grade, and then, oh, you're going to get to an A+, you're going to get to an 86 overall, but you're still not going to be good at anything else, or you're going to be just a good mid-range shooter, a good defender, a good playmaker. Like, there's so many G League players as well that you've seen this. If you've done like a 3-year Myleague, you simulate like a couple years, and then there's all these players from the G League that like turn to an 80 overall, but they're only good at rebounding. I see that so often where a player has C's all across the board except he has an A+ rebounding. Like, you should be able to develop your players more and your young players, and if you want a player to improve at defense, then you should be able to have that option instead of manually doing it and quote-unquote cheating the rebuild. The player progression should be more accurate, and the shot tendencies really need to be changed. Thank you all for listening and watching. This has been a very, very long video. I'm sorry that I've been kind of ranting, but I'm just sick of the 2K franchise, and there's lots of things. I've even touched up on gameplay or MYteam, so if you want that, let me know down below in the comments, and like the video for more. Subscribe to never miss an upload, and I'm probably going to be doing this again. This is a long video, and, you know, I kind of ranted a bit. You know, I need to just take a breath, and some of my points probably didn't come across very well. This was more of a rant, which I did not intend, but if you still like the video, smash that like button, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care, and goodbye.